Welcome to my very first learning video, and the topic for now is about computer. So I titled it Computer in Layman's Term. Why layman's term? Because there are a lot of words, even technical word terms that we use every day, especially in the world of computer. But if we make it so simple, then even at any age or any time, you learn new things about computer and the wonderful things that it can do to us. So I hope you be with me and then listen to the lesson for this video, the first one, and so that you will understand what computer is, and then you will not be afraid of touching a computer. So there is a saying by Dave Waters: a baby learns to crawl, walk, and then run. We are in the crawling stage when it comes to applying machine learning. So this part of the video is the crawling stage. So very important that in computers that we know the basics. So sometimes because of there's a lot of terms in computers that we don't understand where to place it. So this is the very basic on learning computers. So I'll try to explain it by putting those terms in samples, using some samples. Okay, computer started in 1937, and Charles Babbage, an English mathematician professor, is the designer of the analytical engine. And what is that? This is the analytical engine. This one. This is made up of dials. And then the first generation of computer started between 1937 and 1946. And the first electronic digital computer was called the ABC. Okay? And this is named after Atanasov and Berry. They are the two scientists who created this one. This is the one on the right side. This is the what we call the ABC computers. One of the biggest computers during that time was the ENIAC, or the Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It is the first general purpose computer and weighs around 30 tons. And then it uses around 18,000 vacuum tubes. Generation computers. So the second generation of computers is from 1947 to 1962 that uses transistors. Use transistors like in the radio. And then it became a little bit smaller. And then imagine the UNIVAC, which is the Universal Automatic Computer, used to calculate payroll, sales records, analysis of sales performances, and other company businesses. And this is an example of a UNIVAC. During that time, 100 computer languages were developed. Computers had memory and operating system. And there's the third generation computer from 1960 to present. So there was the invention of integrated circuit. Okay, this is a sample of integrated circuit, the black one. There's a lot of integrated circuits, so it became smaller. So the first few companies that made use of it are the Microsoft, IBM, especially the IBM, who introduced the personal computer. And then next to that is what we call the Apple introduced the Macintosh computer, while Microsoft introduced the Windows operating system. We'll be dealing more of the more popular one, the Microsoft Windows operating system, on a different video series. Okay? So why use computer? This is because of speed. It makes our job easier and faster. Unlike before that we sent a postcard going from one place to another, it takes sometimes days before it arrives. But in a computer, as a matter of seconds, the email is being sent. And reliability, people are using computer to do their job. So a computer has some tasks. They do some tasks, and then these tasks are repetitive. So consistent computer do not require to rest, as I said a while ago. So the same task that's doing, like calculating payrolls and storage, you can store up a huge amount of information. Unlike before, a floppy disk can only store for example, 100 leaves of information. But on a computer, at this time, we can store thousands and thousands of pages of information. And then another use of computer is what we call the communication. Not only that the business is only in one city or one town, the business becomes citywide or even global. So that is the use of computer. Let's go now to the types of computer. And the first one is what we call the supercomputer. Next is what we call the mainframe. And then there's the mini computer. Lastly, the microcomputer. So the microcomputers are the ones that we're always using. Right? These are the microcomputers. And what are the microcomputers? Under that are the desktop computers, the one on our study table, in the offices. Those are the desktop computers. A microcomputer is a smaller guy. It can also be carried, like the laptops. Those are considered microcomputers. And then there are the PDA, personal digital assistant. And the other one is the tablet, the iPad, in which there is no keyboard. And then what you're going to, there's a touch screen that you're using. And there's the last one are the smartphones. Smartphones are very handy. You can put in your pocket. What are the parts of computer? There's what we call the two main parts, the hardware and the software. So the hardware we see on top of our table where the computer is located. There's what we call the tower. Sometimes we call this a CPU, central processing unit, but this is a tower, houses everything that the computer is made of. It's inside the tower. And then if it becomes smaller, then it's a laptop already. And there's what we call the monitor when we see the screen. And then there's the keyboard. Next is what we call the mouse. Printers, in which we print out our documents, even pictures. Webcams. This is the one that we're using now. This is the webcam so that you can see me. Okay? So, next is the microphone so that we can record songs that we sing and then also what we're talking about. Okay? Then there's the scanners so that some documents are digitized. So scanners are being used for scanning pictures and documents. Okay? Then external hard drive. This is the one that is being used to save information and the memory stick. Right? So memory sticks are the ones that we carry on smaller than the hard drives. These are keyboards. Okay? These are some of the keyboards that we see. So there are different parts of the keyboard. Let's run it through. I'll show this later on. So there's what you call the typewriter keys. So the one that we use in the manual typewriter. Sometimes we call it the QWERTY keys. QWERTY because they are arranged that way. QWERTY key. Then the Windows keys. This is the one that is being used to specific for Windows. Okay, the one with the logo of a window. Okay, the application key. So and the function keys, the numeric keypad, and the cursor controls. Okay, let me show you. And then there's the enter keys and others. So here it is, so that you understand. Okay, the typewriter keys are this one. As I told you, the QWERTY, QWERTY. That's why it's called QWERTY. Okay, the first letters on the keyboard. Okay, and there's the window keys. There's only two, the left and the right. These are the one with the symbol with the logo of Windows. Okay. Next is what we call the application key. The application key. This is the one. Sometimes this application key, sometimes it appears here, but sometimes there's none. Some of the keyboard does have the application keys. Okay? These are shortcuts. And then function keys, the one at the top. That's F1 to F12. Those are the function keys. You can assign some programs or some shortcuts on the function keys. That's why they're called functions. And then there's what we call the numeric pad. The numeric pad keypad is on the right side. The numeric keypad is on the right side. Okay, and the enter key is very important because this enter key will tell the computer what's the next thing to do. Okay? And the others, these are the print. If you want to print the whole screen, and then when you scroll and then home, insert. These are some of the shortcuts for, especially if you are doing some documents. Now we go now to the different softwares. The softwares are the one that tells the computer what to do. These are the programs. They are not what are the softwares that we can use so that it can help in our daily work. There are different types of software. So the first is the operating system, and the one that we're using is Windows. Next, the internet browser. So the internet browser is where we surf. The word processor is like a typewriter. Spreadsheet is like for accounting. Then presentation, that's the one that I'm using so that you can show pictures, you can show videos, present your graphs in a presentation. Media player is the one that we're using to play music or play video. Antivirus are softwares that prevents hacking applications. These are other softwares other than the one mentioned. Okay, for the last part of this video, we're going to talk about the desktop. What is a desktop? The desktop is the main screen area that you see after you turn on your computer and log on. So that's the one you see in the monitor or on the screen. Like the top of an actual desk wherein there are folders, there are pens, there are markers. So it's the same thing. You have to be familiar with this so that you will know where to go to and what the computer is doing. Now, these are examples of desktops. This is a Windows 10 desktop, and this one is for those using an Apple computer. So, and this is how the desktop looks like, except for the table itself. And then this is the one for open sources like the Linux or Ubuntu. This is how it looks like. It's just simple but very easy to use. So you have to be familiar with the terms, familiar with what are the different hardwares, the tools, the application softwares. You just have to know the basic about computer. And then it will be very easy for you to do some practices like creating your own album or creating a diary, writing a letter. That way you'll be familiar with the different tools in a computer. And you have to also have to know that you have to apply this on your work. That's why computer was invented to help us in our daily lives. So it should be very helpful for especially those who are working in the offices. So if you want to know more about computers, you just visit some of this website, the WikiHow, Wikipedia, YouTube, Facebook videos, webinars, Vimeo, and Dailymotion, and SlideShare. These are only a few places that you can visit the internet so that you will be more familiar about computers and how it is being used. So thank you very much for watching. So our next topic will be Introduction to Windows and the Windows concept. That's the second part of this video series. Hope you click on that button, the like button, and then subscribe to my videos so that you will be informed on when the next video will be coming up. So thank you for watching and have a great day.